You told me you'd done it.
I told you I put the batteries in.
Oh, I see.
Which is half your job done for you.
It's not my job. You don't let me touch technology because I break it with my face and my hands. And that is me not touching it.
Yeah.
See?
Okay.
Hello.
You literally said, I love the fact that we don't open professionally.
Yeah. Yeah. For anyone that was here, I always like saying how professional we weren't.
Yeah.
And my man spreading.
I'm a bit not with it today, Joe, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I did this silly thing. I went to the gym this morning.
So silly.
It's really silly. And then we got here and I've built a coat rack because we didn't have a coat. It's really weird, right? Really weird. Didn't have a coat rack in the whole studio. So me and Kyle were just leaving our coats hanging on doors or you even. We typically have the jackets for the bikes. Leaving jackets and helmets on doors or on floor. Or it was annoying me. So I bought a cheap coat rack. Everything had to be cheap.
Is there a shelf on the top of that you could put your helmet on it?
I'm very concerned. That,
always put your helmet on stuff.
It says, are we in? Okay, we're good. Okay. So I bought that and I built it. And I you know how wildly patient I normally am. Well, it's not entirely true. I'm wildly impatient all the time. So I had to get it built. It's built now. It's all done. And then I looked at the time. I was like, "Fuck! It's 3:20. 20 past 1 even." So, sorry, chat. But we're here now.
We're here now.
Welcome back to the channel for another live stream. There's 6 this week because we are missing tomorrow night. There's no Warhammer show tomorrow night because Luce and I are taking the kids for an educational visit to the Natural History Museum in London.
Oh.
Because she's been wanting to take the kids to London for ages, but she doesn't dare take the kids to London on her own. I don't necessarily blame her.
You've got to be brave and bold.
Yeah, no, I don't hate London and I know it averagely well. So I've said to her, look, I'll come with you one day. And she keeps trying to book days, but obviously I stream 7 streams a week, 5 days normally. Well, I say normally, we've just started the 7 streams. So unfortunately it happens that she booked it for Wednesday before we started the 7 streams. And then I'm going to be taking, I'm taking them. I'm basically the tour guide tomorrow and we're in London. So it'll be fun, but it does mean no Warhammer show. But don't fear not, chat. You still get plenty of streams. There's still 6 streams this week and strictly 7 pieces of content because we did the hobby hangout last night. Now, if you're watching this show live or on demand, I love the hobby show because I get to do some hobby. And sometimes it's the only time a week I actually purposefully carve out time to sit there and do some hobby. So I'm trying to encourage, we had 110 people last night. I'm trying to encourage more people to come and hang out and hobby with us on a Monday night. Yeah. So please come and join us Mondays at 7:30 on the hobby hangout. I just want people to talk to whilst I'm sat there painting or building my toys, basically. Yeah. Loose even hobbies. She was making little flannels out of old towels yesterday. Don't laugh, Joe. I'll tell her you laughed.
Do you think that 18-year-old Luce would be really impressed with her?
18-year-old Luce definitely would not be really impressed, no.
We're impressed with her. Like when she really got into barometers.
There's still one hanging up next to me in the office.
I know.
So come and hang out with us on the Hobby Hangout, please. It's literally the only stream in the week, really, that does absolute shit right now. So, and I love them because I actually get to sit there and hobby, and I'm trying to work out how I keep doing them without it murdering the algorithm.
What does Andrew Tate do on his streams? He's really popular.
I'm not sure. Not sure that's the direction we really want to go, Jay.
Okay, maybe not. We won't do that then.
So we did that last night. Obviously, we've got the Liam and Joe AoS show today. Tonight, we've got another live game of 40k. It's me and Joe. Are you playing Raven Guard? Raven Guard?
I haven't run them in ages, and I don't want to run Votan, so yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to be running World Eaters. I'm inspired after yesterday's painting. So we've got Raven Guard World Eaters this evening. So come and join us for that at 7:30. Yeah. Tomorrow, day off, because we're going to the Natural History Museum. Thursday, back with the Liam and Joe show and another live game of 40k, which I think is you and Brom.
Yeah.
On Drakari Orcs, if I remember rightly. Yeah, and then Friday, Warhammer After Dark, 40k After Dark.
On the Liam and Joe show on Thursday, because that's normally the 40k show. 40k is terrible right now. Should we just talk about the Natural History Museum instead? And dinosaurs.
Are you talking about slowly edging this channel into generic content? You've talked about talking about the Natural History Museum, and what does Andrew Tate talk about, Joe? I'm mildly concerned the direction you want these shows to go in.
Soon, we'll try and get we'll do what is that? Paul Logan? Is that his name?
Please don't, please.
The one that basically wants to get murdered in a boxing ring.
By Mike Tyson.
By Mike Tyson. Yeah. Should we just start picking fights with
Logan
famous
Paul.
people. Yeah,
Logan
that's the
Paul.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
He's a fucking douche canoe as well.
he's
isn't he?
awful. Oh, he's awful. I only discovered who he was because of Prime or Cred.
Cred. Yeah, that's
As I got. I only know who internet people are from my children.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean, isn't that the fucking truth?
And what's mad, right, is that like my daughters, they collect the Prime bottles.
Have you? They're on about taking that off sale in some places.
So
Because of some of the things that are in it.
So there's two types I've discovered. This is educational for all of you as well. Strap in. Right. There's two types of Prime apparently. There's a canned version
And Amazon.
and Amazon, and the Jungle because it's massive.
Yeah.
That
was a joke.
no, there's the bottle version. And there's the canned version. Apparently, the canned version kids can't drink, but the bottle one can because it's just.
I will not let.
From what I can see, it's ditch water.
I will not let my children drink either because the man who owns it's a fucking massive douchebag.
Yeah.
And I don't want to fund his hobby with his overpriced dog shit drink.
Don't worry, Grimgar, I won't. But I'm just learning about the world through stuff. You know.
Please stop letting your children drink that stuff.
I don't let them. Normally it's
do.
because they've come home and she's like, I went into town after school and I bought this, and I'll be like, it's your money. You
Every
wasted on
time she buys that, 10 lashings.
Yeah?
Minimum. Because she should not be funding that fucking bell end.
Internet celebrities are weird, aren't they?
Careful now.
What?
Careful.
We're not celebrities.
We're not. No, we're not. But in our little niche,
We'd be like,
could be
you know,
considered.
like Big Brother has like Celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah.
Right? We'd be like in the shed.
Yeah,
1x more.
That's fine.
In the comparison.
In our little niche, though, we have to be careful about what you say about internet celebrities now, because you're like, never pay anyone who's an internet celebrity. I'm like, Joe.
I know, I'm sorry, keep giving us money, don't worry.
Joe, please, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyhow, I've waited for a few of you to
Welcome.
turn up now, so please make sure you hit all those magical YouTube buttons for us. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the content, smash subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon if you want to be notified every single time we go live or drop a new video. Okay, we are at like something, 40 likes or whatever. We can hit 100 in no time. So do that for us, you wonderful human beings. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us. And the other problem I'm trying to solve right now, as well as Monday Night Hobby Nights, is a subscriber count issue, Jay. It's in the toilet right now. I don't understand. Our views, normal stroke up.
Yeah.
Our watch time, well up.
Yeah.
Subscribers, not really climbing.
I blame.
Not decreasing, but not climbing.
We talked about this earlier. I think it's because, right, we are starting to enjoy ourselves, have fun, being overtly positive,
Yeah.
and embracing all of Games Workshop's game systems, not just 40k. And people don't like that. They don't like this catalogue of things. No happiness. Please complain all the time.
Yeah.
Shit on everything that's not 40k, but also shit on 40k while still playing it. That's what I want.
I only want to watch you if you're miserable because it makes me feel better about my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was saying to the people on the weekend, I'm loving hobby in general at the moment.
I am.
Since I've stopped embracing solely 40k and embracing everything, I'm like, life's better.
I feel like it keeps it more fresh and interesting.
Yeah.
Because you can pivot to, I'm a bit bored of painting this 40k army. I'll play a bit of AoS.
Yeah.
I'm a bit bored of playing this AoS game. Play a bit of Overwatch.
It's like I've been flat out painting Bretonians, and this week I'm doing a bit of 40k. Next week a bit of Age of Sigmar. Oh, it's glorious.
Phil says I only sub for Rage Bait. We could do that. We could do a bit of that, but
I tend to save it as the last 10-minute filler, and I find something that will trigger Liam, and I let him rage for a bit.
I'll be honest with you. I almost switched the stream to a Rage Bait based stream
The last minute.
because they put an article out, haven't they?
Yeah. Yeah. About money.
Yeah.
Spending it on toys.
Yeah. And the fact that they put their prices up again
When was the last one?
this time last year.
So the same time last year, the price went up as the same as the year before.
3 years in a row now, the price has gone up. I think last year it was more like 10%, and this year they said it's 3 to 5%.
But you've got to think, right? Minimum wage went up. So 3 years ago, I was talking to Steve about this. 3 years ago, his staff were like on £8 something, and they're now nearly £12 something. So the wages have gone up £3 an hour per member.
I don't think.
So the Games Workshop having to pay their staff, and the cost of plastic, shipping stuff from China. Right, I'm not a Games Workshop apologist, but things have to get more expensive so businesses can run.
Yeah.
But not across the board.
Things do have to get more expensive for businesses to run, I agree. Yeah. However, we've seen, in essence, this is, so all right, okay. So your price of your gas and electric's gone up, Joe, right? And British Gas, for example, have announced record profits.
Yeah.
Record profits, but your price has gone up.
Yeah.
Are you happy that they've got record profits? Like, if their profits were the same as last year, maybe you'd feel okay about it, or there or thereabouts. But record profits, are you okay with that? Your price has gone up.
No.
Cool. Games Workshop announced record profits.
Yeah.
They put the prices up. The context, gas electric is something you have to have.
Yeah.
Plastic toy soldiers is not something you have to have.
Yeah. I suppose if they went, we've had record profits, but all of our staff wages have gone up to well beyond the living wage.
Which they
so
haven't.
then it becomes an enticement to work for Games Workshop because they pay their staff really, really, really well.
But they don't.
Yeah.
Watch the Peachy interview.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is live on the channel right now for all of you Scold tier members or above. Right, all of you Scold tier members or above. The Peachy interview is now the Peachy Saga. We're calling them sagas. Sagas of the Great Hall.
I like that.
The Peachy Saga is, and it is a fucking saga. It's a 3.5 hour saga. It's now live for all of you Scold tier members. If you want to watch it right now, !member, become a Scold tier member, or hope you get gifted, and some people have already tried to help them if you wonderful people out with some gifted memberships, okay? So you can either wait for a gifted or pay for it yourself. Alternatively, because of the way I like the channel to feel, sometimes to my detriment it seems, on Saturday, it'll go live to the general public. So you get early access as a member, as a Scold tier member or above, but on Saturday it'll go out to everybody else at 2 p.m, so everybody can watch it. Because I like that feeling, you know?
I did like the title.
Oh, who would he actually fight? Yeah, okay, good.
I was a big fan of that.
Oh, it's like, what are you talking about? Oh, I got it, yeah. I think it's. I didn't want it to be 3.5 hours long. I actually wanted it to be significantly shorter. I kind of wanted every saga to be about 2 hours. And I was already a bit upset with Josh's when it got to near 3 hours. But when I edited the Josh one, I was like, there's not really much. I trimmed a little bit out here and there, but very little of actual content got trimmed out. When I edited the Peachy content, I didn't want to trim any of it out. Yeah. It was just brilliant.
It's just 3 and a bit hours of him just straight slagging people off.
I mean, there was a little bit of that. No names, clearly.
I'm juicing them up. I'm like, yeah. When he talked about beating up those people.
Yeah, on that thing.
And those children. Yeah.
So that's on the channel right now. As well, if you want to watch that, if you want to become a member. And instead of paying the extra inflated GW prices, you could just become a member instead and support the independents rather than the giant...
Just live vicariously through us.
Yeah, if you support the channel, you're supporting an honest business rather than a massive, giant, corporate, money-making, record profit turnover machine who treats its staff like shit. According to Peachy, not my words. Anywho... It is a really interesting episode.
It is good.
Joe sat here whilst we recorded the whole thing, so he knows what's in it. It is a really interesting episode, actually. It's full of interesting insights. It's full of crazy practices that GW do that I just didn't think would be a thing. So, like how if they want a singular white photograph of a product on a white background for the web page, and they want that same photograph for the magazine, they have to have 2 different photographs taken because they won't share photos.
That blew my mind.
That sort of thing, absolutely mad, right? Absolutely mad. Loads of it though. Check it out. It's 3.5 hours. We're not obviously going to cover it all now. Today, however, Joe, we're talking. It's the Liam and Joe AoS show. I don't want to talk about the. I'll be honest with you, chat. As a person trying to run a business about 40k, the price hikes have fucking pissed me off. I'll be honest, they've annoyed me. They really annoy me because it's the 3rd year in a row of price hikes. I'm aware cost of everything's going up. I haven't got a business mind at Games Workshop's level to actually say whether the price hikes are fair or not. It just feels a bit shit. That a thing that's my hobby that I want to play for fun, the price hikes have gone up. But I don't want to be a negative scream about prices for an hour and a half because I figure I'm just going to rage and I won't feel any better. So what we're going to do today, we kept to the original topic. We're talking about Spearhead. Spearhead is Age of Sigmar's new combat patrol, essentially, from what I gather. And there's been a couple of articles that have come out about Spearhead since we did the last Liam and Joe AoS show. So we should have plenty to talk about. Reference Spearhead tonight.
But
today.
Quickly, can I do this? It's a short list.
It's a very short list.
So short. I don't know what to talk about. Thank you, Plastic and Paint, for 1 gifted membership.
Thanks, Dean. You're a hero.
Every little helps.
It does.
Love you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grimgar, for 5 gifted memberships.
5 is amazing. Thank you, Grimgar. You're a hero.
And thank you, Sick Monkey. We aren't here for professional. We're here for you. That should be our tagline.
Sean, I love you.
Yeah. Don't come for the professional.
Thanks to the team, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gifted memberships. A quick one, because we struggled a little bit last night. Gifted memberships are literally the best way to support the channel. It brings other people in. It brings subscribers in, genuinely, because people can get gifted membership if they're not even a subscriber. It funds 85% of all channel revenue, memberships in total. And of that 85%, 70 to 75% of that is gifted. So 75% of the 85% is gifted memberships. It's the most important thing. It's how literally we afford the studio, the electricity, the lights, the cameras, everything. So huge thank you to everybody who continuously gifts and keeps gifting and keeps chucking gifts in. It's amazing. It's the best. It's literally the best way to support us. So a big shout out and a big thank you to all of you wonderful gifters. Obviously, they get Skull Tier, they get Discord access, they get access to the Peachy Sagas, the Great Hall Sagas, including the Peachy one recently, obviously. So a big shout out to you wonderful people for gifting. Thank you is about it, really. But yeah, so thank you for the 6 gifted so far. You people are incredible. Yeah. And we can talk about some AoS Spearhead, Joe. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm excited for this, by the way.
Are you?
Yeah.
You haven't... I don't think I've actually looked at this properly yet either. Here it is. Here's the article. Right, this was out on the 4th of May. I'll just move it slightly.
The 1st of May.
The 1st of May. I think I just moved it slightly. It's fine. It's okay. We're okay. Okay, fine. So this was out on the 1st of May.
Thank you, Evan Timberlake, for our gifted membership.
Oh, it's going to annoy me that it's moved.
Thank you. What's it?
How do I edit undo? Boop, 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 boop. Edit. Oh, hang on. Hang on. It's off center. It's pissing me off. Hang on. Hang on, Jay.
What?
Keep talking to people.
Why is it? Thank you, Evan. So everyone has been gifted a membership. I don't know if Liam said it because I wasn't really listening. Exclamation mark Discord in the chat or go into the link in the description below. Join. Oh, that can's empty, right?
Yeah.
Join our Discord and go and talk to the other absolute heroes and lunatics equally in our Discord. Make sure to link your YouTube with your Discord because then it will give you access to all of the threads. And we hope that it's so good in there you will wish to stay. Also, thank you, Chaotic Failure, for 5 more gifted memberships.
I'll just leave you on camera. You get more then, don't you?
Yeah, what you need to do, what I want to get right, is like a bean can, like a bean can or a dog food can with no low wrapper and a handle. I can just shake it.
Okay.
For that coin.
Right, okay, AoS.
And then I'll get a monkey and we'll dance.
Sorry about that, Joe. It was off-center on the actual screen and that annoys me.
Yeah?
So we fixed it now and I've locked it in place so it won't move again. I don't know how I did it. Introducing Spearhead, a fast and furious, get it? Stream title? New mode for new AoS, all right? So.
Are we going to be Tokyo drifting?
Yeah, I thought you'd like that. I called Spearhead is fast and furious. So
Oh.
I thought you'd like that, yeah. And then we can just spend most of the stream talking about family. We've shown off loads of the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar so far, from the impactful new commands, the tightened up fight phase, changes to spells and prayers, and the modular rules that underpin everything. But with the new edition was first announced, the Warhammer Studio excitedly spoke about Spearhead, a brand new way of playing the game. Now it's time to find out what it's all
Did I tell you that
about.
my daughter's named after one of the characters from Fast and the Furious?
Spearhead?
No, Mia. Sorry, carry on.
What is Spearhead? Spearhead is a new game format for Warhammer Age of Sigmar where you use self-contained existing boxes of miniatures to play fast and furious games with streamlined rules and nail-biting finishes. There are a number of differences between full-size match play games and Spearhead, which has been designed to make the game accessible but retain rich tactical depth. It's a brilliant standalone game and a fantastic primer of what you can expect for full-scale battles Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Thank you, Stick Monkey, for the 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you! Barton Farm's back again as a member.
Is he?
I feel like he lives on them.
On gifteds?
Yeah.
It's allowed.
You're allowed to do that.
Spearhead's footprint is also dramatically smaller than that of a full game, played on a board measuring 30 by 22.4 inches.
Which is a quarter of a full-size game. 60 by 44, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
I I mean, if you read the sentence straight after it, Joe, that's a quarter the size of a full battlefield.
Yay!
Perfect size to play on a kitchen or coffee table.
I'm glad that we can all read together. What I do also like, right?
Oh, that's amazing.
What you can.
That was a Joe moment.
What I do like about this, right, is that it's about the same size as one of those maxi poster frames that you can get for from shops. You do your standard poster that you have in your room as a teenager.
Yeah.
That's roughly about the same size. So VHS or not go VHM. What's the high street brand with the dog? Boop, boop. What Bucks or his master, whatever it is. His master. HMV. Right, we got there. Here's master's voice. Right, got it. It's about the same size. And what you can do is you can make your own game board.
Why
inside.
22.4 though? Because it's not actually a quarter, is it? Because a quarter would be 30 by 22, because it's 60 by 44.
It's because that's the size, right? That's the packaging size of the larger boxes, I think. I think it's got something to do with the size of boxes.
I have no idea.
So
I just feel
in terms of how they cut the cardboard to make it perfectly square.
if a full-size battlefield was 60 by 44.8, they'd be correct. It would be quarter of the size of a full battlefield, but it's not. They lied to us slightly, Joe.
They always lie to us. But you can make cool, fancy personal boards that are small. I like it. Carry on.
The incoming launch box provides everything you need to play with a friend, including 2 complete Spearhead forces, terrain, a double-sided board with printed objectives, and the packs of cards that really make the mode tick. You'll also get a beautiful hardcover book that includes everything you need to play, the core rules, the Spearhead battle pack, and the rules for every Spearhead force in the game. So you can start playing with your existing collections immediately. Asterisk.
That's pretty incredible.
That's a lot.
That's a thick wedge.
That doesn't include the main AoS rulebook. That's coming in the box as well.
That's thick with 3 Cs. That is.
Yes.
Right.
That's from.
Right. Also, this could be the first starter box set since 4th or 5th edition that we get terrain in.
Terrain in a starter box is amazing to start with. I imagine it won't be much, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
Right? It says you get a hardcover book with the core rules and every Spearhead force rules in it. A double-sided board with printed objectives, so you can flip it over, and you don't need objective markers, they're on the board.
Yeah.
What?
You literally get everything that you need to play, because normally when you buy a starter box set, like Leviathan, they didn't come with a mat or anything. You had to buy a separate board, a separate load of terrain, you had to buy or download a pack. Now, you just get everything.
It's quite a lot in it. Each faction Spearhead force is created from the contents of a single box, and all currently available Vanguard boxes will be rebranded as Spearhead boxes. Asterisk, asterisk. As these sets contain different quantities of models, Spearhead has its own dedicated Warscrolls and faction rules, and introduces new mechanics to balance each force against one another. The Warhammer studio has put tremendous effort into this balance, and as a result, every game you play comes down to a knife edge. So these are Vanguard boxes currently that all become Spearhead boxes.
I think I do like, I've said this in the past, one thing I do like about the AoS box sets in general is they tend to be vastly more balanced than the 40k one. When you look at them, you go, that looks like a good force in there. That's a solid amount.
Yeah. They do look like...
The middle one, right, is a prime example.
Which you've got.
Which I've got. You get a Lord, 10 infantry, a Chariot, and five knights, right? If you buy that 3 times, it's basically a 2,000 point force for a start.
So here's the thing, right? I'm going to say this now. I've read some of the rest of this article.
Yeah.
And I've read some of the next article that we'll read after this one, right? I legitimately think that Spearhead could absolutely become its own monster. Because I think the game is going to be fun and interesting.
Yeah.
And I think the Spearhead boxes for AoS get it much better.
When we get to the end of it, I have got my own personal exciting thoughts about this as well.
And they've got, and so I think the Vanguard and Spearhead boxes for AoS are typically better than the 40k stuff. The what's it called? The combat patrols.
And also, when you look at them in terms of what comes in the box, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So you've got the Night Goblins. You've got Night Goblin infantry led by a Night Goblin Lord on foot, and a few little cavalry bouncy guys and some trolls. Not like we've got some guys in one set of armour that can be joined by not the character in the box, and then a bunch of other stuff. They all kind of make sense.
Yeah. This is one of the most play-tested games we've ever produced by virtue of how quick it is to play and how much fun we were all having with it, explains Ben, product developer for Age of Sigmar. Once you know how to play, you can get through a game during a lunch break. What?
John's message.
Oh, I've seen
It's
it.
both hilarious and very sad.
Everything you need in the box. Does it come with a friend?
Yeah.
Oh. The whole Warhammer studio was so enthused about it, we had a chart up on the wall listing which factions had played against which other factions and how many times. People couldn't get enough. We've run 2 huge leagues so far, so we had lots of data to work with.
Yeah. It's good to know that the game has been play tested to a point where, like, that a lot of staff are involved.
Also play tested with the staff at GW, not just all competition players. Not just all tournament people.
Yeah. Like the fact that they're playing it and they're playing it because they're enjoying it and having fun.
Yeah.
Like they're not playing it because it's their job, they're playing it because it's good.
With some Spearhead boxes containing elite units and monsters and others packed with quintessential troops and foot heroes, balance is established in a number of ways, from holding powerful units back for the later turns to giving less durable units a second chance at life. Units in Spearhead forces with the reinforcements keyword can return to the battlefield after they've been destroyed by using the call for reinforcements ability. You can set up a fresh unit in friendly territory, providing you with a way to reposition and resurge in future turns. Some units have the reinforcements keyword. These units can be brought back to the battlefield after being destroyed as replacement units. If any of your units have the reinforcements keyword, you can use the following ability. Declare, pick a friendly reinforcement unit that has been destroyed. Effect, set up an identical replacement unit on the battlefield wholly within friendly territory, wholly within 6 inches of the battlefield edge and not in combat. Each reinforcement unit can only be replaced once. Replacement units cannot themselves be replaced. So if there's a balance issue where that's worth a lot more in points than that one, well, we'll just make some 1, 2, maybe 3 of those units have reinforcements and essentially they double up.
Yeah.
Cool, isn't it?
I really like it. But that also then becomes almost tactical in a way.
To procrastinate around. A GW rules team playing their own game, wonders never cease.
I know, it's mental, isn't it? Because you think like the tactical implications of that is like, oh, my unit's got 3 models in. You're like, please kill them, so you're rushing them in. And your opponent's like, no, I'm not going to kill them because they'll all come back.
So you get this little icon in the top right corner of the Warscroll, so you can tell it's a reinforcement unit.
Yeah.
Particularly powerful units may instead be held in reserve. Yndrasta's Spearhead, for example, features the God King Sigmar's Prime Hunter and a trio of hefty Annihilators, but the Lightning Strike arrival ability keeps them off the board until the penultimate battle round. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. That means your Vanquishers, Knight Vexilla and Stormstrike Chariot need to hold ground until the damage dealers can arrive to turn the tables. Yeah. So rather than like making her weaker or making her worse to balance it, like, well, you just can't have her until...
So this kind of implies that like they're not mass doing. It's that like instead of.
Oh no! You know what Josh says? Read what Josh says.
So, he hates us enough already.
He doesn't like us anyway.
You should have seen the look he gave me. Right. It's kind of that kind of hopes like is that by instead of going, we're going to change the rules of this unit. We're just going to hold it back for a bit instead.
Exactly.
You don't want because what you don't want in.
I'm hoping what that means is the rules for that unit is the same in big AoS.
Yeah.
And the way they've scaled it back is literally by holding them back.
Yeah.
Rather than the rules, if we use main AoS rules for this, it'll be a bit too powerful. So we're going to change the rules. Combat Patrol doesn't really do this, to be fair. I didn't want Spearhead to do this. I didn't want them to change rules between 2 different game systems because it becomes confusing. So I feel like Spearhead is going to be a really fun game to play. I feel like Spearhead for us could be a gateway into fast and furious AoS pre-recorded content on the channel that people can consume in a lunch break. Because if it's taking them a lunch break to play it, a standard lunch break is what, 45 minutes to an hour, right? If it's taking them a lunch break to play it, with some careful editing, we could probably edit a video that is a 45-minute long video people can watch in a lunch break. That's quite exciting for me as a content creator.
And then if it's all going to be Fast and Furious, can we get sponsored by Vest Tops and Corona?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Baby oil.
Yeah, and when we announce the army, we'll have a little car drive across the screen. Drag it. I don't think it really works for fantasy, but you know.
I think a chariot.
Battle traits. Yndrasta's Spearhead. Scions of the Storm. Yndrasta and your Annihilators, your Annihilator unit, are not set up during the deployment phase. Instead, from the 3rd battle round onwards, they can use the following ability. And it said penultimate, so I assume it means there's only 4 battle rounds. Lightning Strike Arrival. Effect. Set up this unit on the middle of the battlefield. There's more than 6 inches for enemy units. Interesting that it's 6 inches a lot so far.
Well, I think you got to think, right? If it's 30 by 22.
What's he doing? He's just run off. He's had enough, chat. He's done.
I'm done.
What are you doing, Joe? You walk like a fucking hippo.
And I look like one too.
We're going to get you in the gym soon, aren't we?
Wah.
We've started eating
Cleaning.
salad.
Yeah.
We've started eating salad, haven't we?
Yeah.
That's the board size, isn't
That's the board size, right?
it? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty 40k.
So it's pretty 40k, but be honest, that's 9 inches, right? If you can only come on 9 inches away,
You can't come on anywhere.
that's it can't come on anywhere. It's massive, right? So by reducing it 6 inches, it's easier to get stuff on.
Are you saying 6 inches is little, Joe?
I'd say it's massive. I'd say it's average.
Oh, Vexed!
Thank you.
Not seen this name before. Thank you for 20 gifted, you fucking legend.
You are an absolute hero.
What a fucking legend.
I hope.
You're not as good at these as you used to be.
Katie Price and Peter Andre come and do their entire Disney ensemble to you.
I don't think that's going to encourage him to do it again.
Okay, I hope Stacey Solomon does it instead.
I'm not sure that helps either.
But she comes with a Iceland fish platter.
And a mute button. Thank you so much. 20 gifted is insanely generous, man. Thank you so
I love
much.
you lot. Yeah, 6 inches makes sense because it'd be harder to get onto
I'm
the
still
board.
talking. Oh, fuck. I was saying thank you. If you've been gifted a membership by Vex, please make sure you say thank you to Vex in the chat. Exclamation mark Discord, get yourself in the Great Hall server. You people are amazing. Thank you so much for 20. 20 gifted is amazing. And Crumpets Panda snuck in there also and gifted 5 more.
Oh,
Whoa. I love crumpets.
yeah, I love members.
What's your favourite thing on top of a crumpet?
Baby oil. Or Marmite.
Sweet or sour? Ooh, really?
I fucking love. Or, if I'm feeling a bit fancy, Bovril.
The 2 things I like, right? If it's quick and I want something sweet, just slather on the chocolate spread, the Nutella, right?
Yeah.
Especially when they're fully fucking hot. And then what happens is it all leaks inside all the little holes of the crumpet.
Yeah, you get the little spots on the plate.
Oh, it's amazing. The second best thing to do though, if you're going to go savoury, Joe, on top of crumpets, is a poached egg.
You live in a different world. Why does Omnis here keep going, Joe, every once in a while? What?
He likes you.
He wants my attention. What do you want?
What do you want? 6 inches does make sense, actually, but I just noticed that a couple of them said 6 inches, so it looks like they've scaled it down properly as well, which is interesting. Yeah. This is the battle trait for Yndrasta's Spearhead. Each faction gets their own powerful and thematic battle trait and can choose from one of 2 different regiment abilities and one of 4 enhancements at the start of the battle to customise their force once they know who they are facing. I like that. At the start of the battle, once they know who they are facing.
I like that.
That's tidy, I like that. Tidy, but... what do you mean, what the fuck is a crumpet? Ow.
It's like really thick bread with holes in.
Janky Driveway, great name. Jake, I don't play AoS. I turned up for the shenanigans. Thanks for the stream. Well, thanks for the comment. What a legend.
Thank you.
Warscrolls and Spearhead. Spearhead Warscrolls are slightly simplified, but designed to feel similar to Warscrolls in the full game. The Spearhead Battle Pack doesn't use advanced rules modules, so it doesn't involve special rules for command models or advanced magic, but it does introduce many of the advanced concepts through abilities and cards. Your warriors almost always share the same characteristics and base weapon profiles as their full Warhammer Age of Sigmar equivalents, but the Warscrolls have all been adjusted to work properly at this scale. For instance, the clan rats below are vile, verminous whores who'll swarm the Spearhead board. In full Warhammer Age of Sigmar games, they'll lose the reinforcements keyword, but gain the command group benefits and the crit auto-wound ability, making them even more ferocious. Asterisk, 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 asterisk.
I like that.
So they have reinforcement here. This is obviously a Spearhead one. They have reinforcement here. They have you can return D3 models to this unit at the end for clan rats. This is obviously going to I assume be one of the ones that's in the launch box.
Oh, Marmalade's a good shout.
Yeah. Oh. The disc riding Magister demonstrates how magic is simplified in Spearhead. In full Warhammer Age of Sigmar games, the bolt of each spell is part of a spell lore you can choose for your army. Here, it's tweaked to fit Spearhead and turned into a simple ability. With no magic module, there's no need for power levels or casting values, so everything fits into a neat ability that emulates all the foundational rules for casting a spell, rolling 2d6 and blasting foes on a successful roll. So here's your Magister. Bolt of Change. Pick a visible enemy unit within 18 inches of this unit, declare the target, and then make a casting roll 2d6. On a 6+, inflict d3 mortal damage on the target. If any models are slain by this ability, you can pick a friendly Zangle unit wholly within 18 inches of this unit and return one slain model. Simple spell, but no magic, no wizard, 3, none of that nonsense. It's just a spell, off you go.
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This covers the basics of Spearhead. So it does look like they have actually changed the data cards like Combat Patrol and removed all the special abilities, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But there's another driving force for this new game mode. 2 decks of cards are included in the box. One that provides you with a twist for each round, another that gives you the ability to score battle tactics or use powerful command abilities. They're a critical part of what makes Spearhead so compelling and rich with strategic depth, so we'll be taking a closer look at them later in the week. We'll look at them in just a minute, okay, because it's already out. The Adress. These rules will also be available free online shortly after the release of the launch set. The Man Crushing Mob set will also become a Spearhead, giving Sons of Behemat a way to play the Spearhead game. Sons of Behemat can play the Spearhead
The more
game.
Crushing Mob is 3 of the little giants.
Yeah. Every game has 4 rounds. If you want to get started assembling a Spearhead or Vanguard sets ahead of time, build them as they're shown on the front of the box and you'll be good to go. While command models don't add extra rules to the game mode, we encourage you to build them anyway for when you want to use your units in larger games. Okay, cool.
I'm a big fan of this game mode, right? Because like I said, I've got 2 children, and they're always badgering me about wanting to go in the garage and play Warhammer with me. I'm like, no, this is Joe's private place. Stay out of my domain.
I don't want you to see all the photos of Not Mummy.
Yeah, so all those greasy men. No, what I want is, so the idea of we're going to play this little game on this board. We'll play it on the puff in the kitchen, no, in the living room.
Does he mind?
On the foot puff thing, and God, we're in so much fucking trouble. Right, on that, and we can play, and also, and if they enjoy it, you can invest more. But if they don't enjoy it, I go cool. I've bought a Spearhead that I can play with myself now.
I mean, we've got between us a bunch of Spearheads already in progress or already done.
Yeah.
And you can just use those to try and see if they like the game.
Yeah, so that's like the great thing about it. But also, I was talking to Mr. Josh about this last night, right?
Yeah. Because it's the hipster.
Because you get the box set, which comes with all the rules for every single Spearhead, right?
Yeah.
You know that if you're going to play against someone bringing Cities of Sigmar, they're going to come with some knights, a cannon, some infantry, a man on a horse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's unchanging.
Okay.
Forever be that way. But say, for instance, like you're going to an event, you've got all the cards, you can go and do these things. But I feel like, obviously talking to Josh about it, the potential for building and converting stuff in this game, a real expression within a small scale, is really, really good. So like, I really, really fucking love the witch hunter aspect of Cities of Sigmar, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I could take the guy on a horse, I could convert him into a witch hunter. The infantry, the steel helms, instead of using steel helms, I could use the Wilder Corpse guys, kind of thing.
Combat Patrol doesn't stop you from doing that.
No, Combat Patrol doesn't stop me from doing that.
I feel, here's the thing that I'd like. I don't know if GW's watching or listening. Sometimes they do, genuinely, sometimes they do. But here's the thing that I think would have made, for me, Combat Patrol more interesting and more compelling, and could work nicely for Spearhead as well, right? So this is applicable to both 40k and AoS that I'd like them to see, right? At the moment, Joe, if you wanted to play Combat Patrol with World Eaters, what do you have to bring to the table?
You get
a Lord of Juggernaut, 20
Berserkers,
10 Jackals, right? That's what you get, flat. That's cool, okay. And that is their Combat Patrol box, I get it.
Yeah.
But I feel like what they could have potentially done is gone, that is your core Combat Patrol box, because that's the one that comes, and that's your core Combat Patrol rules.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to run that. So what we've actually done is we've written a second Combat Patrol.
Yeah.
Which is Khan, 3/8 bound, 10 Berserkers.
Yeah.
You can play with that one instead if you want to.
Yeah.
And we don't sell that box, but what we've done is we've written a combat patrol like detachment essentially.
Yeah.
Right? I'd like to see something similar for Spearhead as well. So I don't know whether they're gonna. It'll be interesting to know whether the current Vanguard boxes for Stormcast and for Skaven will also be used, and whether we're going to get just the new ones or whether we're going to be able to use the old ones. Because if we have both, if we get both, if they do the current Vanguard and the new Spearhead half that's in the box, then they've got two that they can use.
Yeah.
But they'll only be able to sell the new box. But that means that people that haven't bought the old box, if they've got the old models, can still play with that combat patrol.
Yeah.
And it'd be cool if they could go, here's a city's army, here's a city's Spearhead that's also usable, but we don't sell it in a box.
Well, the thing you think of, right? So the game is, let's be honest, it's being indexed, isn't it? In a sense,
to a point, yeah.
So it's being
There's some like I feel like it's less. So it's being indexed, but the rules are less of an overhaul compared from say 9th to 10th edition.
All the books are going away. Because we're going into a new edition, every faction is going to get its own release section.
Yeah.
Right. So, and obviously the old ones are called Vanguard boxes.
Yep.
So you've got to think in your head that when they release a new faction and then a new battle tome, it will come with a new branded box to Spearhead, which means that they will probably change the contents of the box. So we've got all the rules for their current ones, which means that we'll probably get rules for whichever new ones come out. And then hopefully we'll be able to use both. Or what I'd like to see is like we've released two new Spearhead or two new Spearhead formations for this faction, this faction. You can only get them in White Dwarf.
Which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Give me a reason to buy White Dwarf again. Fucking hell. But also, don't then make it a one-times only purchase.
Yeah.
Give me an option to purchase it digitally later on.
Yeah, give it away for free. Or what I'd like to see, what they've been doing with these new box sets for the one where the snake lady came in and the dogs and the bats.
Yeah.
Like, maybe put a little bit more in, turn that into a Spearhead one.
Maybe.
So this is a limited time release because we want to release this new character. Here's the rules on our website. You can continue to use this forevermore.
Yeah, I think sometimes Combat Patrol could be an incredible way to bring people into 40k, but it feels much like Leviathan for me at the moment, actually. Sean, are you still watching? Because if you're still watching, tell me, because I've got some exciting news.
So Necromancer Goblin says, what about Chaos Demons? They should have 4 Spearheads / Combat Patrols.
Agree. Well, arguably 5.
I think in 40k, they should have 4. Because the gods are very split up, aren't they, in 40k?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Whereas in Age of Sigmar, you've got demons, but they're locked to their factions, their god-specific boxes.
But the actual Vanguard box of Chaos Demons is just Khorne.
Yeah. Whereas in AoS, you've got Head of Knights of Slaanesh, which has Slaanesh demons in that faction, but their box set holds exclusively Head of Knights models.
Interesting.
Because like Games Workshop were kind of pushing the AoS god-specific stuff down a more human route in the mortal realms.
I think, to be honest with you, though, 4 monodemon spearheads is never going to be a bad thing. I think they can do that.
They did do them a long time ago.
They did,
during Start Collecting days.
Sean, he said he's still here, right? I'm making no promises. This is not a promise. But Joe and I are talking about running tonight a Maelstrom form of 40k. I need to work out how the fuck I'm going to bodge the what's it called, scoreboard. But we're thinking about digging out the old Maelstrom cards from literally 8th edition and playing some Maelstrom of War tonight. Yeah.
Seems diverted. We have a super chat to do as well.
We do we?
Thank you. Wicktail says, excited for new AoS, very tempted by new Lord of the Rings terrain set. Do we think scale would be much of an issue for AoS games? Cities of Sigmar seem okay in scale. That box set, by the way, is beautiful, and the scale looks fine. I was at Warhammer World on Friday, and they've got like a nice little display table for the Lord of the Rings terrain in it. Looks fine.
I went straight to the website to buy it.
Yeah.
Because I know how much you love it. And then I saw that it was £185.
They're off their fucking nut. But one of those boxes will do an Age of Sigmar table comfortably.
You know, yeah, but it's limited time as well. I'm so annoyed because I'm not in a financial position to spend loads of money on. We've been buying so much AoS stuff. Oh, it's beautiful. I think honestly, I think that terrain will be fine, but £185
It
stung
looks
me.
it looks stunning, and also it's fully modular as well.
I'm having to really think about.
Modular.
I have to really think about whether I'm going to put an order in for that terrain.
It's hot.
At 185. Yeah, I know you'll love it, but we've got tons of terrain out there that hasn't been opened yet. So
Yeah, but it's not Lord of the Rings terrain. It's like you keep buying me dogs, but I want a cat. You know?
No one's ever said that.
No one ever said
No one's ever said that joke.
Unless it's one of those pygmy cats with the tiny little short legs.
Yeah,
Like the dog equivalent, the cat equivalent of a sausage dog.
It's absolutely eye-wateringly pricey, but it is also beautiful. So the Lord of the Rings fan and the fantasy fan, and he wants it in a heartbeat. And I was like 120 quid. Seems reasonable. And when I opened it at 185, I was like, ouch, that stings.
It cut me deep when I looked at it. I was like, ugh. Because I honestly thought that by combining all of those sets together, they do it cheaper because
like everything else, when they combine it all together.
You've combined all these things together in one box, but I kind of feel like it's just a one-click bundle. Like, will it come in its own fancy special box that's got a nice printed cover? Or are they just going to send you the 3 big buildings, the 3 ruins, and the tower in their own separate boxes?
They won't send it in a separate box, I don't reckon. Yeah. Oh no, I think they will actually. I think they probably will.
Yeah.
I don't think it will be fancy. I don't
But
know
I want it.
I don't know what the sum of its. I don't know what the sum of its component parts is.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's much of a saving. It's not 185 quid beautiful. I don't know. The price put me up. Like honestly, Kai, I went to buy it. The price did put me off. So I would be inclined to agree with you. But I think that it's something I wanted to add. Yeah. So I don't know.
It's good for AoS, Lord of the Rings, Old World, and 40k.
Maybe. We'll think about it. I'll think about it. But thank you for the 10, Wicto, anyway.
Thank you. Love you long time.
You.
And then thank you. Elak Man says, Games Workshop did release another rule set for Combat Patrol in White Dwarf 496. Apparently, it's called Strike Team Salarian.
Oh. I didn't know they'd done that. I'm so out of touch with what White Dwarf does nowadays because it's just pap.
I bought it when 10th edition came out because it came with the reference sheet for 10th edition, and it came with the reference sheet for the what's it called? Stratagems.
Do you think?
And then I read it once. I was camping at the time, and they used it for the firelighting.
Do you think Games Workshop? I don't want this to turn into a negative spirally rant.
Yeah, but we've only got 191. It'll jump to 250. Remember when we started?
But do you think they're a bit tone deaf when it comes to their pricing model? Like, do you think they're just out of touch? I don't know how much any of this stuff costs to make or produce or develop.
The Ginger thing is, he thinks the Osculia terrain set is about 280 if bought separately. So there is a discount. But yeah.
Does that not mean it's massively overpriced in the first place, though?
Yeah, if you can knock 100 quid off and still make a profit.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Because what I find that Games Workshop's pricing for their terrain kits are always batshit mental, right? So recently they released for Warcry the Seraphon terrain, which is like the big lizard arch thing, right? But the problem is they never put models in the pictures with the terrain. So I was like 60 quid for that. Never going to happen. You're off your rocker, right? Josh has built one and painting one at the moment. It's fucking massive. I was like, it's not worth the money, but like I would pay 10 quid less and have it. It's huge. I was like, but the problem is because there's no reference of scale in any of the artwork or the pictures they put out for it. You just look at it and go, cool, it's just a little.
If we're honest though,
lizard thing.
Their marketing in general is essentially, it's archaic and it's bollocks. They get by on the fact that we all love Warhammer, right?
Yeah.
Their marketing is, let's be honest, if you compare their marketing to almost any other major business in the world, it's fucking dog shit. Their marketing's bad. I'm sorry, GW and your marketing department, you're fucking awful. You literally rely on people going to Warcom and you rely on people having email subscriptions turned on, and you basically rely on the fact that people know Warhammer and they know where to go, and they know to go to Warcom and they know to go to GW.
Well, it's making them money, isn't it?
They've never run an actual ad in their life.
Yeah.
They don't run ads on Facebook. They don't run ads on Instagram. They don't run ads or the Meta profile in general. They don't run ads anywhere, right? And their marketing is even things like their product photography and stuff like that. And I know we talked about this a bit with Peachy, but their product photography is pretty shit if you think about it. Like, think about that Chaos Shield Captain. Every single man and his dog has looked at that Shield Captain and gone, "That looks fucking awful."
The Custodes one.
And it's because they must take it from a certain angle, at a certain distance, with fucking a plain white background.
Do you remember when Angron came out? The pictures for Angron
I hated him.
Awful.
Now I have him, he's one of my favourite models.
Yeah.
The pictures made him look dog shit.
Yeah. It's like Votan. Votan looked terrible in all photographs. I don't think it's possible to take good photos of Votan. But in reality, they're quite nice.
I don't know. I feel like the marketing in general is just bad.
But I feel like the pricing structure to their terrain is... I think it's because they don't assume it's going to sell as well, so they put the price up to make their money back. But what they should realise is that because their money, the price is so high, no one buys it. So if they made it cheaper, more people would buy it and therefore make more money. I feel like that's like a weird science.
I don't know. Terrain's an odd beast because terrain is something that not everybody buys. No. Right, so of all of the people that play the game and collect, not everybody buys terrain for a number of reasons. Some people just don't have the space for it. Some people don't see the value of it. Some people will only ever play at the local gaming club, and the local gaming club's got a ton of terrain, so they just won't buy their own terrain. In different areas, it's different. In different areas, local gaming stores require you to bring your own terrain. Yeah. So it varies wildly. Before I had the channel, before I did Warhammer on YouTube. Yeah. I had one battle board, which was the 6-piece city battle board in plastic. Yeah. It's through there, by the way. We could get that out one day and use it, but we need to paint it. But you need to paint it first. And then we had one full board's worth of the old GW ruins and containers. That's all we had. And me and my mate Lee played on it almost on a weekly basis. Same board, just move the tiles around a little bit and put the ruins on. We didn't care about competitive layout, whether the terrain was balanced. Didn't look cool with a ruined city. I did not have the space or the capacity for more. And even if I did, would I have seen the value in buying more terrain, or would I have rather expanded my armies because me and my mate, me and my mate was just engaged in this constant arms race?
I think the problem is they make terrain out of the same plastic they make models from. Right? So when they do the Shades Biased or the Underworld stuff, they did the blind box things with the Space Marine heroes.
Yeah.
They do the magazine stuff that they do. The sprues for those tend to be red or blue cheap plastic, don't they? That's why they can sell the magazine for like £8, and you get a £30 unit of Terminators in it, for instance, right? If they made their terrain out of the same plastic, no, it wouldn't be as high quality as their models, but it would therefore make it much more affordable for the end user.
Well, the thing is as well, if you think about any event you've ever been to, almost any event you've ever been to, right? If you think about any local gaming club you've ever been to, the majority of the terrain there, is it GW or is it third party?
Tends to be third party.
Third party. All the time.
Yeah.
Companies like, what's it called? GameMat.eu, UrbanMats.com, 3D printers and STLs all over Etsy. People like Daryl, Lasercut Architect, right? Foreground. All those people make a fucking fortune because GW's terrain ideas and pricing. The terrain sets themselves, normally stunning, absolutely beautiful, but their whole marketing, their pricing, their production, fucking lunacy. Absolute lunacy. And they could dominate that market. Yeah. They could dominate that market if they didn't price everybody out. Again, you said it yourself. If the Osgiliath terrain is £280 if bought independently, or £185 in this box set, that means they've knocked £95 off the price and they're still making profit. Yeah. And it will be significant. Guarantee. Yeah.
If it was £180 bought all together before and they dropped it down to like £150, it's a cool bargain. But if it was made out of cheaper plastic and more affordable for them to make and put out, then more people would buy it. And they could have a decent profit margin on it and still be cheaper than what they're selling it now.
Agree. Agree. We've got some more anyway.
We do. Thank you, Elecman, for... did you cover the new rules for Endless Spells and Faction Terrain yet? Did I miss it? It came out right after or during last week's show on the 30th. We haven't?
We haven't covered that one yet, no.
No. And then Taby says, is now the best time to buy Lumineth Spearhead, or should I wait for a potential new box?
I mean, I don't...
Depends on your financial situation, I guess.
Yeah, so AoS 4 is going to come out sometime this summer, probably June, July time, right?
Yeah.
I would assume mid to late June is where we'll see the release roughly, but I'm guessing there. I don't actually know, okay? At that point that comes out, every faction's indexed and every faction goes to 0, right? The book that they're producing in this particular launch box set, they've stated, has the rules for every single Spearhead, and they stated in that particular article that they're rebranding all Vanguard to Spearhead boxes. So if you wait now, or you wait in 3 months and buy the Lumineth box, you're going to get the same box. It's just that one might say Vanguard on the front, and one might say Spearhead on the front, depending on when you buy it and where you buy it from. Now, once that happens, and all the codexes, all the battle tomes are set to 0, at some point then they're going to start the slow and arduous process of releasing all the battle tomes in AoS 4th edition. Now, that is not that dissimilar to what's happening currently in 40k with 10th edition, right? And how many codexes do we have out of the total? 30%, 40%, I don't know. So I can't remember how many we've got. So we've got maybe a third, right?
Yeah.
So you can assume that in a year, you may have a third of the AoS battle tomes. What you don't know at this point, at least, is whether one of them is going to be Lumineth. If they release a new Spearhead for Lumineth with different models in it, I would assume it will come with the new battle tome. I would assume. I'm not saying they're going to do this. I reckon most of them won't change because most of them are pretty decent boxes as it is anyway.
Oh man, 10th edition been out for a year. We've only got a third of the codexes.
Yep. So I would say that I don't think we're necessarily going to see a new one anytime soon.
And as Sigmo said, in 3 months' time, it'll be more expensive.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a new one anytime soon. I don't think we're going to see one with lots of different models in anytime soon. It might be that Lumineth ends up coming out in year 2 or year 3 of AoS 4, which means you'll wait even longer. If it was me and you're really thinking about it, I'd probably buy it now. The one thing I will say about the Lumineth box specifically, and I'm having this drama myself, this is a bit of a fucking slog.
Yeah.
Because it's all infantry models.
Do you reckon, if it's 3 months' time when the price goes up, do you reckon they're going to release the new edition before or after?
They'll release it after the price increase.
Yeah.
Almost.
Because it'd be mad if they released it before and then put the price of the box up.
So I think if you're definitely going to buy Lumineth, and you're definitely playing Lumineth for Combat Patrol, not Combat Patrol, for Spearhead, I'd buy the current one. That being said, it is a bit of a slog. There's 10 archers, I think. There's 10 spearmen, or there's...
I think,
There's character with
it's the Veil Lady, 10 spearmen,
10 archers,
5
5 sword guys.
They're not sword masters, are they?
Yeah, they're basically high up sword masters essentially, but they're not called sword masters. Blade something.
Blade wizards.
Blade guard wizards. Blade wizard guard.
Yeah.
If you're into that, if you're into it being all infantry, get that box because I don't think we'll see it change anytime soon. Anyway, so to Electman's comment, we haven't covered that article. We'll see. We've got to get through this next one for Spearhead because I like focusing the whole episode on Spearhead. If we do get through it, we can go back to it. Probably won't get time today. And I think that covers everything, doesn't it? I think. Someone else has also said Chaos Space Marine article out. Yeah, cool. Thanks, dude. You're a legend. Hopefully we'll get another one tomorrow. And then on Thursday, when we do the Liam and Joe 40k show, what we'll do is we'll talk about the new Chaos stuff they've showcased so far because Joe will be fucking excited or monumentally devastated and in a bad mood. One of the two.
It's the emotional roller coaster I'm about to go through. I'm very excited.
Right, okay, so let's jump on this one first. The problem is at the moment, especially for AoS, is we've got one AoS show and GW are chucking out tons of exciting information. So it's hard to cover it all. Spearhead is the fast, tactically deep and incredibly Moorish new game mode coming to Warhammer Age of Sigmar. We've covered what the game is, how Spearhead boxes are balanced and how your army rules and Warscrolls will work. Now it's time to delve into how you'll score battle tactics and issue commands in Spearhead games and unveil some of the twists you'll need to contend with to secure victory. Here it is.
There's the box set.
This is a glittering phalanx.
We figured it out as well.
Yeah, we got it right, look.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm building this box at home, and they are beautiful. They're a bit fiddly, and
that Fluxblade Coven's not actually a bad box if you want demons as well.
the Fluxblade Coven's is kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, like I never got on with Tzeentch stuff.
So we've got the Tyrants Below, which is the Ogre More Bright. It's got the Daughters of Cain, and then we've got the Bone Reapers. Fucking love Bone Reapers. You're not a fan of them, are you?
I don't. I really struggle with Bone Reapers, specifically because they've got those massive bum faces.
Big chins, yeah.
Because their face looks like it's made out of a pelvis.
It's like everyone's a bone-based Peter Griffin.
Yeah, it's super weird. I love that Daughters of Cain box set, by the way.
Scoring in Spearhead is simple. At the end of their turn, a player scores 1 victory point for holding an objective, 1 for holding 2 or more objectives, and 1 for holding more objectives than their opponent, and 1 for each battle tactic scored. Because Spearhead doesn't use any advanced rules modules, including the battle tactics or command modules, you will instead use a unique deck of battle tactic cards. Each player gets a deck of 12 cards. At the start of each battle round, you'll draw 3 battle tactic cards. At the start of each subsequent battle round, you can discard... at the start of the subsequent battle round, you can discard any number of cards face up before drawing back up to 3, with one important distinction we'll get to later.
I really like that.
Start of the battle round, you chuck them off at the end of your turn. Much better.
I'm a big fan of that, yeah.
So battle tactics deck. First battle round, draw 3 cards. Subsequent battle round, discard any number of cards, then draw up to 3. I don't think we needed that giant graphic for that, but hey ho. Every card gives you the choice between scoring a battle tactic or using a powerful command. This turns each card into a delectable tactical choice. Will you use a command that can help you score objectives, enhance your forces, and put your opponent to the sword, or will you attempt to secure victory by completing a battle tactic instead? You can score all 3 battle tactics in your hand in a single turn, but as soon as you use the command or score the tactic, the card is discarded. So 6 points a turn. 3 primary, 3 secondary. Fucking easy. Lovely job. Okay, here's some examples. So take the flanks. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if there are any friendly units within 3 inches of each short battlefield edge. Or you can use the command, redeploy. Pick a friendly unit that is not in combat to use ability. That unit can move up to D6. That unit cannot move into combat during any part of that move. Right? It's a move and run ability. Or the Dracothian Dais, here's a little image here. You complete this battle tactic if you control the Dracothian objective at the end of your turn. I assume it will be the objective with this image on it. Go to ground, used by a friendly target, a unit that was targeted by a shoot ability until the end of the phase. Only unmodified hit rolls of a 6 successfully hit the attacks that target this unit. However, that unit has strike last this turn. So you can use this one, or you can score this one.
So it gives you a strike. Actually, I can understand why this has become very popular, because it's not really basic and boring. It does actually seem to have a level of tactical nuance.
Yeah, so, I look at this, I flat can't do it, this could be useful.
Yeah, because you can get rid of your cards, you can hold on, because of the command abilities, you can hold on to it in your opponent's turn and be like,
Yeah, because that's the other thing. So if I haven't scored it, I don't have to just chuck it. I keep hold of that card because I discard it at the start of my turn.
Yeah.
That's much better. For example, take the flanks will reward you with victory. Hang on, is it start the turn or start the battle round? Subsequent battle rounds. Start the battle round. First battle round, draw 3 cards. So that means that both opponents draw 3 cards right at the start of the battle round.
Yeah.
So even if you're going second, you've already got your abilities in your hand. That's really good. I like that. Every card gives you... We've done that bit. Read that bit. For example, take the flanks will reward you with victory points if you rush out to seize the board edges, but the same card offers the redeploy command, which lets you reposition one of your units in response to your opponent's manoeuvring. Will you score take the flanks at the end of your turn, or hold onto your cards so you can redeploy in the coming enemy movement phase? So you can choose not to score it as well, even if you've done it. You just hold onto the card. Some battle tactics require you to claim specific objectives on the Spearhead board, each of which are named after the god beasts of the mortal realms. You might be set up to snare the Dracothian Dais this turn or the next, but if your opponent has a shooting unit lined up, maybe holding onto the card for the go to ground command is a better choice. Battle tactic raid. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if any friendly units are wholly within enemy territory and not in combat, or you can use steel defense. A friendly unit targeted by that attack ability Ignore the rend characteristic of attacks that target unit this phase.
Oh, that's strong, that
So
is.
AP goes to 0, essentially, is what we're saying in 40k terms. Hold ground. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if there are more friendly models contesting the large terrain feature in your territory than there are enemy models contesting it. The command, however, is to pick a friendly hero to use his ability, heal D6 that hero. I like this.
That's good.
This is really good.
Yeah. I've just seen Jason Leach's comment. I feel sorry for him. The terrain is $518 in Australian, right? £185 is $350.
Fucking hell.
Jesus.
Do you want to raid your opponent's territory or keep that rend-reducing steel defense in your pocket? Hold ground or rise to the challenge. Every hand of 3 cards presents you with a platter of devious choices. With only 12 cards in the deck, you'll be able to quickly learn your options, and soon you'll be able to anticipate your opponent's moves and learn when to hold on to an all-important command. What's more, the abilities and battle tactics will quickly familiarise you with concepts you can find in full Warhammer Age of Sigmar games and will be instantly recognisable to veterans. So it's teaching you the big game by playing the small game.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
But the idea being only 12 cards means that, like it says, you can learn the cards. So if you do start to play it, you go to events and stuff, you can go, cool. It can inform your decisions whilst playing. Because I know they've done that card, I know they've done that card, I know they've done that card. So they've got these ones left to pull.
What they can also do, again, to keep it interesting, as well as bringing out new Spearhead like lists, is they could swap the cards out.
It's only 12 cards as well. It's not like it'd be massively difficult for them to come up with a new one.
Twists and underdogs. The priority role and underdog mechanics are both alive and well in Spearhead. Adding more tactical layers to the game, because Spearhead is a game of hard-fought, nail-biting battles with tense finishes, seizing the initiative from a priority role comes with a sting in the tail. You won't be able to draw any battle tactic cards unless you are the underdog. And the difference in victory points is 5 points or greater.
I like that.
If the player who went second in the previous battle round wins the priority role and chooses to go first, it is called seizing the initiative. When a player seizes the initiative, they do not draw any battle tactic cards for that battle round unless they are the underdog, and the difference in victory points between the two players is 5 or greater. So I choose to double turn, but you're 6 points ahead of me, I can then still draw cards.
Yeah.
That's quite cool.
But it means that if you're ahead on points, you go, cool, I can take the hit of not getting any more cards because I've got 2 in my hand and I want to use those for their abilities.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
At the start of every battle round, you will also determine which player is the underdog, the person who is behind on victory points. Then, you'll draw a twist card that will impact the battle in some way, providing a bonus for the underdog. There are 2 decks of 6 twist cards, each themed around the Akshai and Gairan sides of the Spearhead battlefield board. The verdant battlefields of Gairan are filled with grasping vines that can ensnare your units, reducing their maneuverability, the bane of cavalry-heavy spearheads. On other rounds, hard-bitten warriors can attempt to take the land back from their assailants and score extra victory points by securing terrain features. Oh, this is Gairan Twist. So at the start of every battle round, you draw one of these cards. The underdog picks an enemy unit on the battlefield. If there is no underdog, the players roll off and the winner picks an enemy unit on the battlefield. That unit is ensnared until the end of the battle round, half its move characteristic, and roll 1 fewer dice when making a charge roll. 1d6 charge, lol. Take the land. Each player scores 1 extra victory point at the end of their turn if there are more friendly models contesting the large terrain feature in enemy territory than there are enemy models contesting it. In addition, the underdog adds 1 to wound rolls for attacks made by friendly units that target a unit contesting a large terrain feature. That's pretty good, isn't it? I mean, you don't want to be the underdog because you're losing, and then you do want to be the underdog because you get +1 wound.
You could. It could become very tactical. Like, ooh, if I don't score any points this turn, causing me to be the underdog, I then gain the power of the twist. Given the things that I have access to in my hand, could catapult me to victory.
Yeah.
Or you just do what I do and wing it.
Those who fight in Akshai will need to be wary of Khorne's presence in the realm, as the blood god's influence can encourage even the staunchest servants of the order to let the blood flow. Fighting in the realm of fire could also mean contending with blazing elements and battlefields wreathed in smoke that obscure visibility.
How are we saying that name?
Well, Akshai.
Akshai, not squishy.
Not squishy, no, Akshai.
Squishy.
Yeah, okay, squishy. Each player scores 1 extra victory point at the end of their turn for each enemy unit destroyed in that turn. In addition, if one of the players is the underdog, that player picks 1 friendly unit on the battlefield to be frenzied, Add 1 to hit rolls for combat attacks made by that unit this battle round. Cool, love it. The underdog picks one objective on the battlefield. If there is no underdog, the players roll off and the winner picks the objective. That objective is wreathed in smoke. Until the end of the battle round, only unmodified hit rolls of 6 successfully hit for attacks that target a unit contesting that objective. Into it.
I really like that. It's like smoke bomb.
Each set of 6 twists ensures that battles are ever-changing tactical conundrums requiring you to adapt around shifting battlefield conditions that help and hinder different spearheads depending on their composition. Thinking on your feet and responding to the ebb and flow of battle is paramount, and this means the spearhead games you play on your coffee table at home will offer the same kind of tactical depth, heroic turnarounds, and epic moments as full-size games of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. We'll have plenty more spearhead coverage over the coming weeks, but tomorrow we're going to find out what narrative players can expect from the entirely revamped Path to Glory mode, which features in the core book for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. They put everything in the books, haven't they, on this?
Yeah.
There's no asterisks.
They're like, basically, if you like something, you're going to get it.
I think this is pretty good from what we've seen.
I think from what we've seen, it's going to be great.
It sounds fun. It sounds like something that I could probably play more than a couple of times. So, okay, the thing that I'm currently comparing it to, and this is probably wrong, in seriousness, this is probably wrong, but the thing that I'm currently comparing it to, because we gave it a go, is boarding actions, right?
Yeah.
Back in 9th edition. And the reason why I'm comparing it to boarding actions is because we haven't actually played Combat Patrol. So I can't really compare to Combat Patrol because that would be unfair of me because I haven't played Combat Patrol. So boarding actions, when we read about it and we looked at it and we started playing it, we were really positive about boarding actions and super excited about it. And the first few games we had loads of fun. And then very, very quickly, it got kind of samey.
Yeah.
And it kind of became a bit predictable. And you've said it yourself. We learned very quickly, if you had a fast combat army that went second, you won.
Yeah, every time.
Without fail.
Yeah.
With the twists and the battle tactics with abilities, I feel like this is going to become a lot less predictable.
Yeah, because I think what they've done is they've looked at the comparison between this and boarding actions is they've gone, what happens to the game when we make it much smaller and condensed?
Yeah.
It changes. The whole situation changes fundamentally. Whereas with boarding actions, they go, we're going to take the game, make it much smaller, change nothing.
Mr. Squeezer, thank you for a gifted membership.
Thank you. So basically,
puts us on 42.
And the issue with boarding actions is they used the same points as 40k, and in 40k, assault combat units are vastly cheaper than shooting units because they are less efficient on a larger table. Because shooting units can shoot at them and they die, whereas in boarding actions, shooting units are still more expensive, but can't see anything or Overwatch.
Yeah, well, they can put themselves in Overwatch.
They can put themselves in Overwatch, but you can't. But like the limit, there's so much limitation in terms of what you can shoot. They're awful. So it means that combat units can just hide around corners and then just bum rush them.
Yeah.
So it means that they're super fast and efficient and really, really cheap. And so just the whole game was a great idea, and I loved where it was going, and I was like, I hope they support and work on this and make it into something incredible. And what it kind of felt like was a testbed area for rules for 10th edition.
Which it didn't include half of them either.
Yeah. And it was really nice.
There's a couple of things, like, I mean, we're not going to go on a 10th edition rant right now, but there's a couple of things that they brought into boarding actions, which I was quite excited about. Can't charge unit, can't see.
Yeah.
I'm a combat player, Joe. Yeah. I really like that.
I think I almost feel like boarding actions should have become kill team or combat patrol, but then they really, really worked. I wish they'd worked on it the same way that they've clearly worked on and thought about Spearhead.
This sounds, I mean, again, I am continuing to approach this with a degree of trepidation and a degree of nervousness, because I remember, and you probably all remember with me, how incredibly excited I got about 10th edition 40k and the build up to 10th edition. And I say me, a lot of people got very excited about it. What they were showing us, what they were talking about, all sounded amazing. And it sounded like an incredible game system that now we've played it a bit, we've gone, huh. There's some fundamental flaws.
I think
here.
the thing is, though, when we were looking at 10th edition, we were looking at all the things that we liked about 9th edition, and then basically going, we're going to take what you like about 9th edition and add these cool things into it in 10th edition. And what they did was they took away everything from 9th edition and gave you an entirely new rule set, which was kind of the same, but slightly a little bit worse.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, they did. I agree. Yeah. And I think that this is where I want to say to you people, Spearhead looks like it could be loads of fun.
Yeah.
And if I know that a lot of people out there that watch the channel are a bit AoS curious and a bit AoS nervous, and I feel like Spearhead Box to play this game is a kind of reasonable way into the game. It's expensive, right? How much are Spearhead boxes from Games Workshop? Somewhere between £80 and £95, which means in 3 months' time they'll be about fucking £3,000. So it's still expensive in terms of getting into the game. It is expensive. However, I feel like if you can play this on coffee tables in an hour and I like the fact that the battle tactics seem to have some battle tactics that are similar to the ones we've seen for big AoS. They have abilities which seem to be similar to the abilities that you have in big AoS, but you can use it once when you've got that one card. And it's kind of using it seems to be using battle tactics to teach you big AoS stuff.
Well, this one kind of feels like the way it's been sold, and especially with coming in the starter box set as well, is that it's almost like its own sort of, it's a self-contained board game with expansions. I think that's a great way to look at it, because it comes with its own card set, it comes with its own board, it comes with its own terrain, it comes with 2 armies, and you can buy these expansion armies for things that you also like. And it means that you can go to your mate's house going, I've got the core set, I've got the expansions, we can just play loads and loads of games, and you still feel like you're playing Warhammer, you still feel like you're playing big Age of Sigmar, but you play it in an hour. You don't have to have a massive load of space. Yeah. And I really like the sound of that.
I'm again, from a content perspective as well, I actually think this is something that I would try quite hard to bring to the... I feel like the battle tactics, the twists at least, give me enough, or give the game enough variety and enough excitement and enough change that this is something that I feel like I could bring to content and people wouldn't necessarily get bored with it.
I wonder if you'd be able to bring the card system to the bigger version. And if it would work.
Be interesting, wouldn't it?
I'd like to give that a go.
I feel like in general, and this is true of 40k specifically at the moment for me, in general I'd like more. So one of the reasons why we're looking tonight to bring Maelstrom of War to the table for 40k is because the old version of Maelstrom is because I feel like I need more random in my life for 40k.
Yeah.
I need more, this thing here, this card's now going to fuck you, off you go. Rather than do you know what Maelstrom didn't have? Of all of those cards that every faction had, do you know what it didn't have? A single fucking action.
Yeah.
It didn't have a single fucking action. It's almost like not having actions is possible, whilst also having loads of things you have to go and do and things you have to go and achieve.
Yeah. But like those cards that they've got there, none of them go stand here, do nothing. It's like you have to be in a part of the table but not in combat. But it doesn't say use your move, your charge to get into combat to fight someone, kill that unit, and then be there. Like you have to do something to get there. Instead of go stand there, you can't shoot, you can't fight, you can't interact with your opponent's army.
This is the thing. When you look at some of these AoS things, in principle, it doesn't look too dissimilar to 40k, right? You need to have a unit in range of each short battlefield edge. It's almost like, if you think about, I can't remember which one it's called, where you have to go in the corners and do actions, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like that, apart from they haven't said that your units can't do anything.
Yeah.
So it just says be within 6 inches, or be within 6 inches of the short battlefield edge, or 3 inches of the short battlefield edge, right? So they can be in combat, they can fight, some of them say don't be in combat. Some of them say that. Like if we look at the ones that we looked at last week for big AoS, seize the center, says be within 6 inches of the center of the board, and don't be in combat, right? Cool, okay. I can still shoot. If I use a unit of archers to do that, I can still shoot.
Yeah.
If I'm using a magic unit, I can still cast spells.
Yeah.
In fact, if I'm using a cavalry unit, do you know what? I can still charge.
Yeah.
I just have to fucking flatten what I charge.
Look at Custodes, and there's a sword point at the moment. My minimum infantry squad of Custodes is 200 points in it for 5 guys. 4 guys. Right, it's about 200 to 150 points for 1 unit. What does it do? I've deep structured my opponent's deployment zone. It's standing there.
It's so dull.
I spent 150 points on a unit to do nothing, and then it dies.
It's just so dull as well. Like what people want to do when they come to a tabletop, and this is what part of what excites me about AoS. What part of what excites me about Spearhead? People want to come to the tabletop. They want to bring all these fucking plastic toys that they've built and painted and laboured over and got ready to play, and they bring them. Or even if they haven't painted them, they spent money, they've bought them, they've built them, they've got themselves an army together. I'm very excited about playing against my opponent, right? So I feel like there's always a bit of a feels bad, especially we've talked a little bit today about pricing anyway. We're not diving on this, but considering how expensive this hobby is, I turn up and I have a bunch of units I'm going to do nothing with because they just do an action.
Yeah.
Like let people play with their fucking toys. Please, 40k, for God's sake, get rid of this action nonsense.
Yeah.
Separate rant for AoS, which I'm not going to dive down that rabbit hole right now. For Age of Sigmar, even if it says, like we've said already, even if it says don't be in combat, it doesn't say you can't shoot, you can't charge, you can't fight.
Yeah.
So if you're using a cavalry unit, guess what? You can absolutely charge the hell into your enemy unit, smash them with your cavalry unit, kill everything on the objective, and if you do kill everything to a man, well, then you've achieved your secondary objective.
Yeah.
Right?
It's strong. I like it.
It's really, really good.
I'm going to go to the water closet.
We literally have 7 minutes.
I've been holding on.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Daddy.
Chat, honestly, don't be AoS curious, be AoS confident, be AoS glamorous, be AoS magnificent. Much love. Thanks, Kaz, for the 5-year hero. Tox Trio, I think we've not done yours yet, so thank you for the 10, dude. Having both players draw the cards at the start of the battle round makes the game also way more reactive and strategic. 100% it does, yeah. 100%, absolutely. Weeman says, dull for you guys because you largely love melee armies. I don't think that's true, though. Because even if you're bringing a shooting army, here's my massive shooting unit. It's the only one within range of the corner of the objectives that can now go and do the action, so I can't shoot with it. I've got a cool big toy and I can't shoot with it. It's got nothing to do with melee armies. It's to do with taking units and then don't do anything. Just turn up and stand there on the board. But what is an action? I don't really know what an action is. All right, actions are like, man, actions are a 40k thing that came in last edition and they were kind of okay-ish, and now they're just dog shit, right? Honestly. What actions are is you pick a unit that is eligible to shoot or declare a charge, right? So after you've moved, you pick a unit that's eligible to shoot, declare a charge. Depending on the thing that you're doing, the secondary objective that you're doing, depends on what you now do as the action, right? Or where you have to be. So some of them require you to be wholly within 9 inches of the corner of the battlefield. Some of them require you to be on an objective, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You pick one of those eligible units. That unit then cannot shoot, declare a charge, or fight. And then the action is completed at the end of the turn or in your next command phase. And you get points. So move your unit, then do nothing and get some points. Really fucking dull. Really fucking dull. That's actions in 40k. They're bad. You give up shooting and charging, etc. to do an action like setting up a teleport home or scanning for signals, so doing something narrative, but it's not really narrative. Games Workshop laying these narrative things on it is a poor excuse for do something that's basically not, like, you can tell that actions are written by knobheads who like competitive 40k because it's do nothing and guarantee some points.
Well, that's
one of those famous people that both you and I have worked with, who's like, I'd love 40k if it wasn't about rolling dice. He just wants to play chess. Turn up, score points. But don't worry about randomness.
That's not what the hobby is, though, is it?
No, it's not for me. It's not at least.
Competitive. I think the idea being about competitive play is the best way to do competitive is by not interacting with your opponent, because then you have 100% efficiency. By removing the random dice aspect of the game, you can control it better. But that's not the hobby. That's chess. That's like
exactly.
That's not, it's not even chess.
Isn't the whole point in war games that use dice the fact that it's random?
Yeah. So I was playing. I played the tournament this weekend.
There isn't many action cards in Man. I'm glad there's less action than there was in last edition.
I played Old Blood this weekend.
Have you?
I have, yeah.
You got a trophy as well, didn't you?
I did. Coming last. It was great. But anyway, so one of the things I love about Warhammer, and this exemplifies the incredible thing about the hobby in general, which needs to go away. Or not go away, but competitive play needs to embrace, right?
Okay.
I played against a Tomb Kings player, right?
Yeah.
His entire army is based off of magic, right?
Okay.
So he moves his army, He does his command phase. His entire army is built around layering this on this, doing these things, right? And then you can move your army and then do some spells to move it back, right?
Okay.
So he's done it all. The second battle round, I was like, I'm dead. I'm tabled. It's gone. It's over. It's a competitive army. I'm going to die. He rolls a double one for his first spell. Miscast. Can't cast any more spells for the rest of the round. Completely ruined his strategy. It's like, well, that's completely changed the game. I was like, I have a chance now. I can do things. And it was such this incredible moment where we just laughed and we thought it was hilarious because his head exploded whilst he was doing it. And I was like, that's what I love about this. You can have the best, perfectly, finely tuned machine of an army and then go, double one.
Yeah, I think in general,
and I think, oh, so great.
This is a direction I think 40k has taken that I am less about, actually. And what I mean by that is I don't like the layering that happens in 40k to make things less predictable, less unpredictable, and make them more guaranteed. And it's not just actions. We're shitting on actions right now, but it's not just actions. Rerolls is a big one as well, right? And you can layer things in, so you can reroll hits, reroll wounds, and we use them. And I know I shit on rerolls, and I use them all the time. It's part of 40k. They're there. If I don't use them, I'm just massively hamstringing myself.
Yeah.
But one of the things I liked about 3rd edition Age of Sigmar, one of the things that you said this weekend you loved about Old World was the complete lack of rerolls.
The complete lack of rerolls. Another one I really liked, right? In current 40k, how many attacks does one Berserker have?
4 or 5.
I think it's like 5 on the charge. Where sustained hits 6.
Yeah.
Or sustained hits 1 on 6s. So a 10-man unit puts out 40 to 50 attacks.
Yep.
Right?
Too many.
Right? With full rerolls, if Angron's nearby, right? So after putting out 50 attacks, you've got like 60 hits, right? And then you roll to wound, and you can get rerolls to wound as well, probably, right? For a 10-man unit, right? I charge with my 10 Bretonnian Knights, I get 11 attacks. 1 for each man, 1 for the leader. No rerolls to hit, right? And I'm like, oh God, I don't need to carry like a giant sack full of dice anymore. I can just carry like 20 around.
Oh.
Like when Games Workshop sells a pack of 20 dice, you only need like 2/3 of them.
For 40k, Wee Man's nailed this as well, by the way. They need a deck for competitive and a deck for not. 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. Absolutely. Anyway, thank you wonderful people, for hanging out with us today on stream for the Liam and Joe AoS show. You're amazing. Thank you for the 131 likes, despite the fact that we hit nearly 200 people. That part's free, you fuckers. All right? That's really, really easy.
Maybe that 1/3 of our viewers, right? They're part of like the working, lurking crew, you know?
Yeah.
They're working, but they've got their phone on, like in the corner.
Well, they can
They've
still
got
press like,
headphone
it's
in.
still free.
Well, maybe they can't touch the buttons.
42 of the new Finest members, thank you so much for the
What if
gifteds.
they haven't got hands?
Thank you so much for the gifteds. If you've got gifted a membership, make sure you get yourself a Discord. Make sure you say thank you to the person who gifted. You're all amazing, thank you. Thank you for the super chats and the donations. You people are incredible. Joe and I are going to try and get ready to have a fun game of Warhammer 40k tonight. We're going to attempt, I think, to mangle Maelstrom into it somehow. Not entirely sure how we're going to do that yet.
I think because like some of the cards might because I'm going to have 6 objectives on the table. So
yeah, we'll work it out. We'll figure it out.
We might have to make up how this.
Well, the
work.
objectives are also randomly placed, if you remember. In
Apparently, we're not talking about new faction terrain rules.
what? No.
Or
It's 3 o'clock. We're finished.
The Warp Rock Giselles look great.
It's 3 o'clock. We're finished. You people are amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on the Liam and Joe AoS show. Tune in at 7:30 tonight for our live game of Warhammer 40k, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye. Have a wonderful time.